Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video for Wolongfallen Dynasty. My name is Ventus. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the multiplayer co-op in Wulong, basically give you the play-by-play of my first experience with it. Now, if you're new here, please sub to the channel with notifications on for more gameplay. I'd really appreciate it. Alright, so this commentary is 100% unscripted. It's just my honest opinions going in about this multiplayer thing. Now, usually when I play games like this, because of, my YouTube stuff, I don't like to go on with multiplayer because I feel like multiplayer will make the game a little bit easier when it comes to, like, co-op stuff, like fighting bosses. I want to be able to make a video and show people, like, how to defeat this boss by yourself, stuff like that, because I feel like that's what people want to do. But I realize in this day and age, 2023, everybody's got, PS5, everybody's on, on PC, everybody has this ability to sort of go online and play. And even knowing that, I still was like, yeah, I don't want to do this co-op stuff. I'm not dealing with it. I just want to be able to make my videos. So with that being said, I was doing this level after you defeat the AOI boss. If you haven't checked out my tutorial video on how to do that, please check that out because I gave you some really good information, and apparently it's helping a lot of people. But I did that video, and then I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at this now. I understand the mechanic of, you have to, like, counter most of these attacks, right, when these bosses. So I was feeling pretty confident going into the next boss fight. So I was like, all right, I'll just go do this next little area and everything will be good, and I'll make my next video on how to counter this boss. So as I'm going through this next level, it's like a little dungeon sort of place, very small little area that you fight in. It's very nice and contained, and I loved how they made the area, the zone. But they start you off with, like, 0 morale, and you have to build your morale in the areas, which is not uncommon for this game. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I just gotta, pick my path. But as I'm going through and looking at all these different, enemies that you gotta fight in this area, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. They're not making this easy. Like, there are only, like, maybe 4 or 5 little small creatures on the zone. Like, maybe there might be a little bit more. I might be exaggerating, but for the most part, they're all, like, some really, like, aggressive enemies. And sometimes in most zones, there are more than, like, 2 of the same type of enemy that are very aggressive. So you kind of have to, like, go down and pick and choose your battles unless you're really good at hitting that deflect at that right time. So I'm doing this, and I get completely destroyed. Right? Without going into too much detail, I'll suffice it to say, I was getting absolutely mollywopped on this zone, like trying to pick the right route. It got to the point where I had like 2 monsters that were at morale 6 while I was starting at like morale 2 or morale 3, and it's just like, okay, I don't know what I gotta do to get past these monsters to get to this flag. I need to, like, I can't get to this flag because I gotta defeat the monsters to do it, and it was just a really big headache. So I was like, all right, you know what? Maybe this is where I finally do break down and do the co-op thing. So the co-op, it works like, and this isn't like a co-op tutorial, but you go to your little rest thing and your rest banner and you apply for co-op teammates. You got to spend tiger seals to do it, which I think it's cool because they make it to where you can't, like, really spam it. You will get a lot of tiger seals or whatever like that, so I don't think you really have to worry about it, but you might at some point in time might have to worry about, like, hey, I'm doing co-op a little bit too much. I might need to cool it. So you do the co-op thing, and it doesn't automatically, like, put you, with a teammate. When you go to the recruit or whatever like that, it takes a while. And while the recruitment is happening, you're free to roam around the map and do whatever you want. And I thought that was pretty cool, but I was like, nah, I kind of want to wait till I got a teammate. So I got one teammate first, and, it was just, I only wanted one. Actually, I could only get one because it only found me one. I don't know if there wasn't enough people playing or most people playing the same zone that I was. I guess that could be an issue when it comes to this co-op thing. You got to wait for people to be playing the same thing that you're playing before they can join you, which makes sense. It's not bad. It just makes sense. So dude joins me, and we get to the enemy or whatever, the one enemy that's strongest. We go through the map a little bit, destroying all the stuff in the way that could join the fight and potentially harm us. But he's at a morale 3-2 or whatever. And we both get destroyed by this enemy that I had made so strong in this area. Like, I couldn't even deflect the attacks. Every attack it did. Like, it even had new attacks when I made its morale so much stronger, and it just one-shots me. So I got frustrated, and then the dude, I guess he eventually left after that first, encounter. He was like, yeah, we can't do this. So I waited around for more people to come. Eventually, I got 2 more individuals to show up, and it was a tough battle. I died once. I think we each all died like one time, and then eventually I think that these gamers that I was playing with, they understood, like, okay, if one person dies, you have to because there's 3 of us. If one person dies, you have to keep this enemy occupied so I can go res him. And then if you die, so on and so forth like that. So we eventually beat the guy like that. And then I think right when we beat the one that I had made the strongest, one of the guys, he died. He died, and then he disconnected while the other one stayed, and that's when we defeated. Like, right as that guy disconnected, I think I gave the enemy, or the other guy gave the enemy the last blow, and he died. But that guy stayed on, and I was prepared to, like, dip because, all right, I've already solved my problem, but then I got this issue, like, okay, this dude just helped you. He's not leaving, so he must either need to do this too, or he just wants to help. Either way, it would be rude just to, like, disconnect on him because he's staying. That's kind of the way that I felt about it. So I stayed, let him stay on or whatever like that, and, we basically just kept running around the map. Now, I don't know if this dude had done this level before and he was just back to, like, farm or back to help, but he knew where most of the crap was, and it just ended up with me kind of following him around and him showing me, like, hey, this is where this is where this is, you need to get this. And I was like, damn, I don't want to be this helpless dude. I'm a gamer, I can figure this out, but if you're going to give me the help, whatever, fuck it, I'll take it. So he showed me around, all the stuff like that. We were fighting little enemies, we get separated, which I thought was cool. There's no, like, tether in the game, you can't, like, separate. You can separate as far as you want from your teammate, I guess within parameters of the zone or whatever. So, I would see he's in trouble, I would go over there quick in a hurry and help him. What I thought was really cool about this whole thing is the spells. Right, not so much the attack spells. I have one fire spell that's pretty decent. It helps out a little bit. It shoots this little, column of flame towards whatever I'm targeting. But for the most part, I enjoyed being able to heal, because that's kind of the personality that I am when it comes to games like these. I want to be the biggest help, so I think healing is good. And I was always, throw out some spells that allow my teammates to attack. I think it's like Absorb Vitality, and heal like that. And I just thought the whole co-op aspect of fighting enemies at the same time with that person was super cool. We got to a boss fight, and the boss fight for that zone, and we died right as the boss was about to die. Like, he was like 1 tap, right? I was also like 2 tap. My teammate, the guy that was helping me, he died. I had my divine summon, which is like a little summon creature that comes out that can help you, whatever like that. I had on not the healing divine summon. I had just changed it because I got a new one that was a tiger that sort of stays around the map and helps you. So I had my divine summon ready, and I popped it, and then thinking that it was going to, like, give me enough time to go and res him. It didn't give me enough time to go res him. It didn't draw the boss's attention at all. And I was like, okay, buddy, I got hit once. I had 1 heal left, I think. I healed. And I was like, okay, well, dude's only 1 tap anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and kill him. So I went around and tried to kill the thing. And, in typical fashion of this game, even if something is, like, sort of 1 tap, your basic weapons aren't going to do too hell of a much damage. You got to do the little counter aspect. Maybe he wasn't as 1 tap as I thought or whatever. So we died. And I was like, okay, cool, we'll just do it again. But dude disconnected. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to wait for more people, because honestly, even though I know that it'd probably be incumbent on me as a YouTuber to fight this boss alone so I could YouTube and tell people how to do it, I know it was going to take like an hour of frustration. I was like, you know what? This co-op thing is actually fun. So I kind of want to do the co-op thing again, right? It got me hooked. Like, it was just that fun. It overrode my sense of I need to make money off this game because this is so much fun doing co-op like this. So I eventually got 2 more people. I didn't know where they were going to be at in the mission. That's another thing that kind of popped up in my mind. It's like, okay, you got these people in co-op. They're coming with you. We don't know if they're at the start of the zone or they're at the same spot. That part is not clear to me. But when those people joined me, I was like, okay, this is where I'm at. I didn't talk to him. I guess you can talk on the mic. I always have my mic muted when I do this thing. So I went to the boss door, and they followed, and we absolutely destroyed that boss fight. Like, I was so amazed at, like, how easy it was. And more than being amazed at how easy it was, I was amazed at how much fun it was. Because I'm so used to boss fights in this game in particular being a headache, being a nightmare, being something that I'm gonna, you're gonna have to sit there and scream at your monitor for about a good 20 minutes before you get even more angrier and you start screaming louder for the next 40 minutes. And and I'm used to the game being like that so far, but fighting the boss on co-op with those other people, it was just so much fun. I didn't get a chance to learn timings or anything like that. Like I based on the knowledge that I know of bosses that I fought so far, like I know that when you see a boss glow red and they're loading back, as soon as they spring forward, that's when you hit your deflect. So I was getting deflects on the boss with, in that aspect, not knowing the animations, like, because I only fought the boss like that 2 times, right? The first time I fought it, and then the second time I fought it, I really didn't get to see any of the animations. I just was going off base knowledge. So I got a couple of deflects off, which was cool. And, they were using their summons in the fight. I used my summons in the fight. It was just, the whole thing reminded me of like an MMO. If I'm being completely honest, it reminded me of an MMO, and more than that, it also reminded me of playing like Diablo. Like I have Diablo 3 or whatever like that, or Diablo 4. I think it's Diablo 3 that I have, and I've done co-op in that, a couple years back. And for whatever reason, when I was playing this, because they changed the aspect of the game, the character size, the character models, they just change the aspect of it. And it becomes it becomes smaller, I guess, so you can see your teammates, your allies, you can see more of the screen. So, all those things sort of added into it. It made it feel like I was playing like not a top-down Diablo, but Diablo not top-down, because I was able to shoot my magic off. That the boss was being aggroed on one of my teammates, so that gave me the ability to get free hits. I had these ranged projectile spells. I've got my fire spells, so it was just fun, man. It was really fun, and it was so much fun that I was like, all right. And here's the thing too, that same thing where the people don't leave, I felt bad. I just fought a boss with these guys. I don't know if they felt like they were helping me, but I would be a dick to dip on these people if that was the case. I know that most people don't feel that way, but I kind of felt like that way. So, suffice it to say, I stayed with them. We went through together and getting all this stuff. I don't know if they were farming, probably because they were going through the area just like me after the boss fight, which I thought was cool. After that boss fight, they stayed with me in the group, and we got to continue on doing the next zone. We did the next zone. We got to the next boss fight, which was actually really, really freaking dope. There was this just monster, the boss that we were fighting. It had a bunch of shadow clones around. And as I'm fighting this boss with the shadow clones, I'm thinking to myself, man, I have this, the sense of, you need to do this solo so you can YouTube it. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do this boss solo. Not only the fact that it's fun doing it co-op, but just looking at all this crap. You've got multiple little shadow clones that are attacking you at once. Even I died like a couple times in co-op on this mission. So I was just like, well, maybe co-op is the way to go on this one in particular. I don't know if I was making excuses just to keep doing co-op, but it was just a lot of fun, man. Everybody's on the map at the same time doing their same thing. The maps are really small, which is sort of cool. You can see when people are fighting. You can see, the numbers flash up. I just thought the whole experience was just very fun. I think, and I'm being honest when I say this, it turns wolongfallen Dynasty into a completely different game. A completely different game, and it makes it more fun to play. So, I mean, I don't know if you've got the game or not. If you're on the fence about it, you're like, I don't know, I just need to hear more good things about it. I'm not trying to gush over the game or trying to, suck off the devs or whatever like that. But this part of the game is really, really good. And I enjoyed the crap out of playing multiplayer like this. All right, that's it. That's all I got to say about that. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the multiplayer gameplay that you've seen so far. If you've played multiplayer, let me know what you think about that down in the comments. My name is Ventus, and thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, man. Peace out.